The scientific name of honeybees is Apis, which is Latin for bees. Most of the European honeybees fall under Apis mellifera, with mellifera being the Latin word for honey-bearing. The process of managing and breeding honeybees for acquiring honey and beeswax is known as apiculture or beekeeping. Apiculture is an old tradition that started with hunters in the forest in search of sweet honey. Life cycle of honeybee. The life cycle of honeybees is divided into 4 stages: the egg, the larval, the pupal, and the adult stage. Stage 1, the egg stage. Queen bee is the only bee in the colony who is capable of laying about 2,000 to 3,000 eggs in one day. The egg is positioned upright and falls on the side by the 3rd day. The queen bee lays both fertilized egg and unfertilized egg. The fertilized egg develops into female bees or queen bees. The unfertilized egg hatches and male bees are born, also known as drone bees. Stage 2, the larval stage. The difference between a worker and the queen bee is made 3 days after the egg transforms into larvae and 6 days after the egg is laid in the beehive. The royal jelly is fed to all the larvae, i.e., the female bees, the workers, and the drone bees during their initial 3 days as larvae. The larva sheds skin multiple times throughout this stage. Later, the royal jelly is fed only to the female larvae, which eventually becomes a queen bee. Finally, the worker bees cover the top of the cell with beeswax to protect and facilitate the transformation of the larvae into a pupa. Stage 3, the pupal stage. Here the bee has developed parts like wings, eyes, legs, and small body hair that physically appears close to an adult bee. Stage 4, the adult stage. Once the pupa is matured, the new adult bee chews its way out of the closed cell. The queen bee takes 16 days from the egg stage to form into an adult. The worker bee takes 18 to 22 days for complete development, and drone bees take 24 days to develop into an adult bee. There are 3 types of honeybee within every hive: workers, drones, and a queen. The workers and the queen are female. Honeybee colonies only have a single queen, and every bee in the colony is her daughter or son. Queens are easily recognized by their large abdomens and the retinue of workers, bees that follow her around. If a second queen appears in the colony, the workers will either force the invading queen out of the hive or the 2 queens will fight until only one is left standing. A queen's primary duty is to lay eggs. In order to maintain a large colony, a honeybee queen lays on average 1,500 eggs per day. Worker bees are female but are not capable of reproducing. They do all the work in the hive, and they control most of what goes on inside. Their jobs include housekeeping, feeding the queen, drones and larvae, collecting the pollen and nectar, and making the wax. Drones are male bees, and their sole purpose is to mate with the queen. They don't work, don't make honey, and can't sting. Since a queen only needs to mate once, most of the drones won't even get the chance to fulfill their role. But worker bees keep them around, just in case a new queen needs mating. Uses of honeybee. Beehives serve several purposes. These include the production of honey, pollination of nearby crops, housing supply bees for apitherapy treatment, and trying to mitigate the effects of colony collapse disorder. In America, hives are commonly transported so bees can pollinate crops elsewhere.